reporters, you know, I always thought it was kind of fun when somebody said there's going to be a news conference at the crypt. And you but that's just what they call it.
Here is the First Lady now as she has crossed through the crypt and is on her way down the stairs to the west front of the Capitol. Sporting her new hairstyle, which we saw for the first time just a few days ago. Mrs. Obama was standing there with her daughters as the president took the official oath of office, which was yesterday at the White House, in the White House Blue Room.
I hope she's going to be warm enough out there. It's a beautiful coat, but maybe it's fur-lined or something. It gets cold out there on the podium. I've stood out there doing inaugurals. They used to let the reporters get very close to the podium, and it can get very uncomfortable out there. You've been out there for a while. Some of these people that are out in the crowd have been out there. I think they started seating them around 8:30 this morning, which is so they're probably a little chilly by now.
Well, it's around about 39 degrees out there, which is much better than 2009 when it was about 28 degrees when the president took the oath. But, Bob, there have been some brutal inauguration days, snowstorms, terrible weather.
Well, Ronald Reagan's second time around, remember, they had to move it inside the Capitol.
Mrs. Michelle.
Huh?
It gets raining outside, will they still do it outside?
It gets raining.
You know, like the Bible that the guy reads the what?
They have umbrellas.
Okay, so then my class play, this morning, around midnight, somebody attacked me, and they defeated me, because I did my other things, like my cannons were upgraded, all my cannons were upgrading, and all my defenses were basically upgrading. So they just demolished me because there's nothing to kill them except the archers. So they haven't attacked me once yet. Since my mortar is gone, and my wizard power.
Next, we should be hearing
The president's kids are your guys' age, 14 and 11.
present the Vice President of the United States. As we watch the Vice President making his way to the west front of the Capitol, let's switch to you for a moment.
That's right, and you know, the Vice President last night was at an inaugural reception, and he was singing the praises of his boss, Barack Obama, and saying he's just getting started, and he promised supporters at this reception last night that in the weeks and months ahead, that they would reduce gun violence in America, that they would pass comprehensive immigration reform, and he said, quote, we're going to put this nation's economy on a sustainable path. So the Vice President Biden has been an integral part, certainly, of this administration. And Scott, there was a funny moment, too, this weekend during some of the festivities when the Vice President was addressing supporters from Iowa and said how proud he was to be the President of the United States. His son had to tap him on the shoulder and let him know that he misspoke.
Let's listen in as they announce the Vice President.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden, accompanied by Inaugural Coordinator for the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, Kelly Fado, Senate Deputy Sergeant-at-Arms, Martina Bradford, House Deputy Sergeant-at-Arms, Carrie Hanley, Senate Majority Leader, Harry Reid, and House Democratic Leader, Nancy Pelosi.
How many times can you run for vice president?
What?
How many times can you run for vice president?
Well, you don't run for vice president. You're just asked to be on the ticket for the president.
being led by the House Sergeant at Arms, Paul Irving, and followed by the senior senator from New York, Charles Schumer, who will be master of ceremonies leading up to the president's inauguration. The president passing through the part of the Capitol known as the crypt and preparing to be announced at the west front of the Capitol.
People, they are just emotionless. Oh, look at the guy in front. Oh, there's a blink.
Members of the Republican leadership behind the president as he's being led to the entrance to the West Front. John Boehner, the Speaker of the House, 4 years ago in 2009, was merely the House Minority Leader. Now the leader of Republicans in the House of Representatives. There is the crowd on the National Mall. The Vice President. In the foreground, members of the Supreme Court.
I guess there's no standard hat for the Supreme Court members. Justice Scalia has that kind of large beret kind of thing, and then Justice Breyer right beside him. Sort of like a bellhop's hat, isn't it? I mean,
hats of many descriptions out there.
Stylist kind of come up with a new hat.
There's the Chief Justice, John Roberts Jr., and here are the ruffles and flourishes from Army privateers announcing the President of the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Barack H. Obama, accompanied by staff director for the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, Gene Hardman Horowitz, Senate Sergeant at Arms Terrence W. Gaynor, the House Sergeant at Arms Paul Irving, Chairman of the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, Senator Charles E. Schumer, Senator Lamar Alexander, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, John Boehner, Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, House Majority Leader Eric Cantor, and House Democratic Leader Nancy Pelosi.
Gazing out on the crowd and
Beautiful
views in America down the National Mall past Washington to the Lincoln Memorial.
Okay, now she's got tape all over it, super good.
Lincoln has been on the president's mind as he has written, rewritten, and rewritten his inaugural address for today. President speaking
with him. You got tape all over here too. Get it out.
Senator from New York, and when the official program begins in just a couple of minutes,
Chloe!
Senator Schumer will
They
be
went
the
for
master of
Brody
ceremonies,
too.
introducing those incoming vote
Just
before
keep
and
over
after the
here.
president. The invocation
Chloe!
will be
Whatever.
delivered by Merle Evers
Good. She's
Lugans,
smoking.
the
That's
former
cigarette.
chair of the NAACP, and of course the widow of Medgar Evers, one of the great heroes